Alright, so that was a full day of work. Was not expecting that, but that's okay. More money's great. I like money. Just a little sick of working, but that's okay. Listen to more stuff today. Again, more about the bands. There's just so much to talk about. Just about the format in general, magic in general, all kinds of stuff. So I'll probably be blathering about this for a while. But this time I did not forget my notes. Woo! So I'm not trying to memorize things off the top of my head. Oh, this is why I don't take this play. Yeah. That's okay. This has definitely been the summer of construction. There's more like 5 decent ways for me to get to work, and every single one of them have construction on it. Like every single one. Okay. Sorry about that. But now I can focus on this. So my first note is from something I haven't mentioned before is, should the cards been banned? I guess cards should have been banned. I don't know. It's more or less like, okay, they don't want fast mana, but they're not going to ban Soul Ring. So I would have taken it more legitimately, like, oh, they really mean business if they banned Soul Ring. But they didn't. And the only ones they banned were, I guess, really pricey ones, which just makes the other fast manas more pricey now. So I don't know what that was about. And I think, I guess what it's like now is that they shouldn't have been banned. But to be more honest, they shouldn't have been made in the first place. Now, Mana Crypt was made long ago. Long ago. So that one, you just got to give it a pass. Because, Commander wasn't around. It was made in a very different era of Magic. But Jewel Lotus was made specifically for Commander, and it was a pushed card, essentially. So, yeah, that probably shouldn't have been made at all, and I understand people... Oops, hold on. Let me fix my character here. Hopefully that works. And my music's picking up. Yeah, so that was made long ago, but Jewel Lotus was made for Commander, but it is a powerful card. No joke, not gonna lie. It is a powerful card, and it was pushed, because you can put it in any Commander deck, essentially. And then the other pushed card would probably be Dockside. People knew it was a problem when it came out, and, it's only gotten more crazier since then. So, if I was part of the RC, and I'm pretty sure they made their voices, said, hey, man, this stuff's kind of not good. This is not okay. But WOTC's not going to let them ban it right away, especially when they have packs and boxes to sell of the stuff, right? Even though Dockside technically didn't, it was only reprinted once, right? I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I think the RC just kind of swallowed that pill, and we're like, well, it is what it is. And then you get, one bad Monday, they're just like, F it. It's gone now. So yeah, that would be my standing. It's like, these parts shouldn't be printed in the first place, but we live in a reality where they were, and now I believe that since they've been printed and they weren't banned right away, that they should just have stayed. But they're not. So that's one note. I think I'm agreeing with, I don't want to say a majority of people, but some of the people I've listened to, they say, you know what, if it was just Dockside and Nadu, totally fine. I would have been sad about Nadu, because again, I have Nadu. I would have been sad about Dockside, because I have Dockside in my decks. But I would have been way less, whoa about it. I think most people have been like, I guess I saw that coming, you know. Now, Dockside was an expensive card, but it's not the fact that just because it was expensive card, it's because most of them were really expensive cards, so it's not just one card that took a hit, it was 3 at the same time, so that's kind of the craziness part. But yeah, I think if they only banned Dockside and Nadu, things would have been much better. And everyone's in agreement about, like, they should have let us known about it. They should have doled it out slower or something. You know, something. They could have done this a lot better. They just kind of took probably one of the worst ways to do it. Hence why it's a big issue. Not just what was banned, but, you know, how and when. Let's see. They in their description of why they had things banned. One of the reasons was because they said Rule 0 wasn't cutting it when it came to these cards. People weren't, I don't know, saying, hey, no fast mana, or I really don't know how you can not make Rule 0 not work, because, like, if you assume Rule 0 works, that means people are describing their intentions for the game, before the game, and they're being honest about it, and actually talking about it. So saying, like, hey, Rule 0 just wasn't working this time. Are you saying that Rule 0 doesn't always work? I mean, I want you to be really clear. Are you saying Rule 0 does not work? I don't know. Just saying, that's kind of fishy. But they're saying Rule 0 for these cards didn't work, and it was just popping up way too much. And it's hard. It's so hard to believe them. And maybe it's all anecdotal. I don't know. Maybe it was anecdotal to them. Maybe it's anecdotal to me. But I just don't think most Commander players play those cards. And even if they did, they don't pop up as much in casual games. The only people who see these cards on a less than regular basis would have been competitive players. And I'm assuming it's because this Rule 0 thing, like, maybe I should just talk about that. Like, the Rule 0 is basically just saying, hey, we want people to play the cards they want, which is a nice, lovely, like, a scapegoat, essentially, for the format, to be a casual format. Play what you want. That's a great rule. But let me just use their own logic here. They're saying that more people were using Mana Crypt, were using Jeweled Lotus. It was becoming more and more played. Wouldn't you think then, even putting this in like a market perspective, you know, more people are playing with them, meaning they want to play with them, meaning they want games to go fast, meaning they want to win games. Like, this is what they're saying. I don't particularly agree. This is what they're saying. So wouldn't that mean it's not Rule 0's not working? For some people, it's not working because maybe they're saying, hey, I don't want to play fast mana, and everyone else does. For those people, yeah, maybe Rule 0 isn't really working. Granted, they could always just be like, hey, maybe I should just deal with it, even though that's not fun. But anyway, so the market is saying, hey, we're totally fine with these cards. We want to play with these cards. Their Rule 0 didn't matter because Rule 0 is okay. Like, yeah, we'll play with fast mana. I got fast mana, you got fast mana, let's fast mana it up. No need for Rule 0. Rule 0 was working as intended. More people wanted to play these cards. That's why it just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, that's like a thing. Like, if you wanna let the players decide this format, and the players are deciding to make it faster, then golly gee whiz, no matter how much the RC wants this to be a slow game, it's not gonna happen. That's just not how people are playing it. is something to say, like, should Commander be, like, casual, like, budget friendly? I mean, perhaps it can be, for sure. That could be a stipulation. That could be a Rule 0. Like, at the card shop that I'm at, we have a Commander League where we only use precons, and we open a couple of packs each time there's an event, and we get to upgrade 3 cards every time, and we get to trade, but it's a closed circuit, so it's kind of like its own little competitive bubble, because everyone's basically on precon level, and we have a lot of people in it too, so it's just, I don't understand it, man. I don't get it. Rule 0 is working as intended. It's not broken. It is this very flimsy, wild, whatever, chaotic, who knows quite thing. So, of course, it's not going to, like, be equal everywhere. And it sure as hell isn't going to be what the RC wants it to be, because it's never going to be that. You lift up this saying, hey, this could be anything in the world, but we really want it to be a yellow bouncing ball, and it comes out green. Well, you got close. But let's not start banning blue pigment to start making it yellow. Like, come on, man. It's still a bouncing ball. It's still ideally what you want it to be. People are playing the cards they want to play. But no, according to them, their Rule 0 isn't working. So now they have to step in. Anyway. Okay. I'm only on... Okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, my charger is slow. Well, I don't care. Hey, get out of here. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep this thing charged. And, of course, I need a new cord. The cord is crap. But some people were saying, like, I know, like, people in the tabletop gaming or card games, they're not going to be the most social of creatures. So I understand where it's hard to Rule 0 with people you've never played with before, with strangers. Like, it's hard to open up, and, like, that's kind of a social thing that not everyone is great at. And I get it. And, you know, my only advice would be, like, hey, we're all here. We all enjoy this game. You should not feel embarrassed about talking to other people about it. But, you know, not everyone's built that way. You know, not everyone understands that, gets that, likes that, whatever. But if you're going to lean heavily on the social aspect of Commander, you're going to lean heavily on Rule 0, meaning people are going to talk about it, but then say, hey, we've actually got a lot of players who don't actually do that. Well, then don't talk about the Rule 0 thing. If you're expecting people to talk, but know that the people you're expecting to talk can't talk, it's bad logic. Again. So yeah, I understand. I get that. I understand some people aren't very social in this social game. I get it. But ideally, you could have, I don't know, people like myself, like that could ask the question, hey, new person, what kind of decks do you like to play? Do you like to be more casual? Do you have more competitive stuff? And if the person I'm talking to can't even respond to that kind of question, even with like a head yes, nod, or a shake no, then they probably shouldn't be playing. And I don't mean to be rude, but if you can't play a social game like Commander, you know, you can't explain what you're doing. If you can't, it's one thing if you can't talk, okay? I'm not going to be against people who can't talk, but if you can't communicate at all with anything, I'm not going to blame the community at large for that. I'm sorry. That's just on a case-by-case basis, and those people should question if they really want to play this game. Yes, I am victim blaming here. Okay, I've got a lot of points and not a lot of time left on the road. Oh, we're taking it easy today, aren't we, Easy Pete? Taking it real easy. That's nice. Okay. Next point on my handy dandy notes. The continual shitting on people who are boo-hooing people who lost money. And, my case of this is, well, it hits game stores way more than it hit players. So being happy about that is not a good thing because of that fact. But if people are really like excited that players lost their investment, let me tell you something that's just the truth, at least in the day and age we're living in. If you want a game that costs money to either operate or print or run or anything like that, if you want to play a game like that and not have to spend any money or barely any money, you are going to need a sugar daddy. You're going to need a sugar player. You're going to need people who will pay for this stuff to come out, for people to work on this stuff, so you don't have to pay much or anything. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you need to thank your local whales for your LGSs. Being at an LGS, I have been told by the owner that if it wasn't for certain people, he would not be open. There are just some people that will pay oodles and oodles of money for this hobby. It's true everywhere. And if you start shitting on your whales like you would in a free game, the game doesn't exist anymore, honey. I'm sorry. So you can be it's fine. It's true. What you're saying is true. This is an investment. It is just cardboard. It is not real value. You're right about that. But if you don't have people who think or believe in this game enough to spend a lot of money on it, whether it's a lot to you or to them, doesn't matter. Someone's got to pay the damn bills. And we all know WOTC's doing their best to squeeze out as much as they can from us Magic players, because Hasbro's putting the chokehold on them. I get it. I understand. It's not okay. I don't like it. If I could just pay money to my LGS and none of it went to WOTC, I'd be like the happiest person ever. But that's just not possible if I want to keep playing this game. Okay, I get it. But do not shit on your local whale. Do not be upset at people who literally use this as an investment. I think that's another thing people are like pissy about. Like, it's a card game. You should at least enjoy it. No, you enjoy it. And that's great. You should enjoy it more. There are some people out there that literally just use this as dollar bills. They don't care, what's popular. They don't care what's expensive. They just want to buy low and sell high. That's what they want to do. They keep money in the game. They make sure that the pieces you get are worth something. That WOTC will continue to print out these things, that LGSs will be able to sell packs. Those are the people that keep it running in that aspect. Okay? Now, you don't need to like kowtow or anything like that, or like feel like you're a piece of crap because you can't spend a lot of money on it. No, it's just an ecosystem. It's just an ecosystem. If the whales didn't have fish to play with, eat, or whatever, they wouldn't exist. And as long as there's a lot of fish and at least a few whales, everything works in tandem. That's it. Just understand. People are going to have more things than you. That's going to be a fact of life. So don't feel happy that what they do to be happy or fulfill their life or whatever, that took a tank. And again, I'll fall back on, if it was just Dockside, understandable. Hey, that's an investment. Yep, that fell. But you've got plenty other cards that keep their prices up. But the fact that it was 3 big, huge cards all at once, yeah, that's kind of a hit. Yeah, that's kind of a bit much. So yeah. Let's see. Another thing to think about is I guess the only reason, one of the few reasons that WOTC doesn't want to do the rule, or wouldn't want to, they probably do, but wouldn't want to do the bannings themselves, is that way WOTC can blame or not have to take any blame when these bad decisions are made. All falls on the rules committee, not on WOTC. WOTC be like, hey man, like, we just print these things, we don't veto what can and can't be played. But I mean, it's smart in a way. So if some crappy rule gets put out, it's not on them. It's on the RC. So the RC is going to take all the flack, which is rightfully so. They should. They're the ones in power. They're the ones that have the say. So it's not like this is wrong by any sense, but it's an interesting avoidance tactic, I would say. Granted, of course, WOTC is in no way clear of, being good or appropriate or any of that stuff. So take that as you will. Let's see. I listened to the professors, to the Tulare Community College's response to the bans. I thought he was really based. He did I would agree with basically everything he said. Even though the only thing I disagree about is he said that the format is healthier with these bans. I don't fully agree, but I do kind of agree. I know a lot of people were hurt by this, and not a lot of people wanted this to happen, but I guess, in a slight, little itty-bitty way, it does help, quote-unquote, itty-bitty. And the only way, the best, if nothing's going to be unbanned, or the CEDH group isn't going to find their own rules, is that WOTC will start printing ideally less powerful things, but they're always going to print a chase card. It's just not going to be the ones that were there before. I mean, it's not going to change it's not going to, but if there's ever hope for anything, that would be the only positive about banning all of this. Ooh, this is having a hard time finding me here. I wonder why. Okay. Next is that TC. Some shops aren't refunding players for when they bought the cards. Kind of silly. Some shops are fully refunding cards. Also kind of silly, but nice, I guess. And that TCG player apparently decided that they are not going to allow refunds for people who had bought the banned cards before the banning. So it's not, so people are upset oh, that's anti-consumer, and I guess it kind of is, These people don't want the cards anymore. They can't use them. But they did buy them, so they're protecting their shops in a sense. And I think someone who does run a shop said, hey, if someone reached out to us and said, man, I know I just bought this card. You probably sent it on the way already, but I really don't want it anymore. Can I send it back to you guys and get a refund? They said they would 100% refund this person. They reached out. They made their concerns. They were totally fine with it, regardless of what TCG player would say. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of nice. And I will have to finish this another time. So hold on. Alright, so if this isn't picking up my microphone, I don't know what to do about. I'll just cancel this and try again another time. But, alright. Oh my god. Bright lights. I'm going. Bye. See you later. Have a good day. Whee! Alright. Now that my phone almost fell. Alright. Sorry about that. That was probably really loud and obnoxious. But, alright. So, where was I on this list thing here? Professors based. Let's see. Unbans are just as important as bans. So this is another thing that I wish the RC would look into, which is, okay, banning cards, That is important for sure. But there's plenty of cards that are banned, which should probably not be banned anymore, you know? Hold on. Do I have to change that? No? Okay. So yeah, there's just like, okay, going over bans, good, but like, can we not get a list of things that should probably be unbanned? Because yeah, like, some things should stay banned, but other things shouldn't, because then you get to the point where the list just keeps growing, and it's never like evaluated. So like, maybe something that was a problem years ago is no longer a problem anymore. So, and I'm assuming that the RC wants Commander to stay a very open format where people can play whatever they want. So trying to get as many cards off the ban list would also be kind of a priority. But yeah, never really know. So yeah, that's just another thing that I hope they keep to be important, you know. Let's see. Oh yeah, I was talking about TCG Player not giving refunds. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. One thing to blame, I guess, or I don't know, it's kind of a weird cycle, and it's kind of a chicken or an egg thing. Okay, so basically you have a set of cards, and people rarely get new cards unless they're better than the old ones they have. Like, that's just typical gaming stuff. It's typical in, you know, MMOs. It's typical in trading card games. That's just how people work, essentially. They have this thing. There's no reason to change this thing unless there's something that can make it better. So I get that power creep is always going to be a thing. It's just always going to be a thing no matter what game you're playing. And it is crazy that Magic has been around for 30 years now and hasn't been completely power crept to death. I mean, we might be hitting that epitome soon, but just not yet. So, one thing is to say is like, okay, it is WOTC's ideal to print new cards because people want them, but is it completely WOTC's fault if people keep buying these overpriced cards, or these, power crept cards? You know, part of it is the human, you know, tendency. True, and it's smart to lean into that. But how much responsibility is us as players are going to take for the power creep? Like, you could just keep this deck that's 100% together, completed, works, and just run with that. Like, I get, like, okay, eventually it gets kind of stale, especially if it's like the same combo and things like that, but that's when you can make new decks. You can maybe change some cards so it does a little something different. But if a majority of players want better cards, and WOTC prints better cards, which means that the format becomes a little faster because there's better cards. I just don't see how the RC can go, whoa, wait a minute, man. Like, we need to slow down. I don't know. It seems like people kind of want it to speed up. At least that's what it seems like. And you can refer back to when I was talking about the Rule Zero thing. It's like, well, Rule Zero's working as intended. If people don't want to play fast games, they wouldn't play fast cards. And I know it kind of sucks, like, I keep making references to Blizzard and WoW players, but it's like some people liked Classic, true, and so players made a Classic server for those people that just don't want anything to change, want everything to be the same, and those people were happy. And then there's people that wanted something new all the time, and then those people were happy. So I get it. Like, some people just don't want things to change because they like the way they are now. And it's hard to do that as a majority. That's what I'll say. That's why, like, I don't know. I think it's fun to make new decks, especially if there's, like, new limitations to it, like a budget deck. But hey, not everyone's going to have one. Not everyone's going to play with them. But yeah, so that's kind of where I stood. I got all my points out. I got one last little point, and it's kind of like a me point. I don't know why, but the phrase "at the end of the day" is like so annoying. It's so annoying to me. And again, I'm not sure why, but it's probably because, like, at the end of the day, man, what really matters, man. But okay, so if you're gonna write off a day, what did I do today? Well, by the end of the day, I did this, this, this. And ideally you say it as, how do you want to be remembered? Because tomorrow is coming, and what you do today matters because of tomorrow, essentially. How you're going to be looked at, what's going to happen from what you did, or how you feel and think. I get it. It's basically saying tomorrow's coming. Do you want to be proud of yourself tomorrow? Some weird fashion. Because in my mind, I'm like, at the end of the day. Well, that means the end of the day, nothing matters. The day's over. It's gone. Finito. It's done. I'm not hearing a tomorrow in this phrase here. So why are we talking about tomorrow? Today, it's gone. It's done. It's over. Who cares what you did? Who cares what you thought? Like, at the end of the day. You know what? At the end of the day is done. There's no changing it. Okay? Please stop using this phrase. I hate it. But it's so random. It's so stupid. It's a me thing for sure. But anyway, I am done with my driving for the day. And, you know, I do this every fucking day. So I will be back again very soon with more ranting, probably about the bands or something along the lines of gaming or whatever. So, yeah. Where did I put it? Right here. Okay, bye.